This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Good evening and welcome to the iRacing Esports Network. Welcome to Imola, the wonderful Imola, and the BSR MX5 Winter Series. Charles Draycott here with you, with Tom Jacobs and Alex Simpson is on the cameras again tonight. And to be fair, Tom, interesting track to see these cars go around. We've not seen much racing here before on iRacing between us, so it's going to be a bit of an eye-opener, I reckon.
Yeah, it's always been one of my favourites, being elusive to the Scuderia themselves. But yeah, I think we should have a good bit of racing here tonight. It's a very technical circuit, quite tight in places. Obviously, we've lost the old Tamburello corner after the event in '94, but which was a clear fan favourite all the way back when. But no, I think it should still provide some decent racing, especially with the tight chicanes at the top of the hill. So the guys are going to have their wits about them, and I hope you enjoy it home as much as we're going to enjoy this evening.
And while obviously this track is so infamous for hosting what is known as one of the most tragic weekends in motorsport, it's actually provided a lot of massively exciting races since then as well, especially in Formula One, of course, as you say, Tom. Big shout as well tonight to Mr. Mick Barry, who is a regular in the BSR MX5 Winter Series. He had medical issues on the weekend. He suffered a heart attack last weekend, and the guys have, well, a lot of the guys on the grid have run messages, get well soon messages on their cars to show their support tonight, and obviously we extend our support out to Mick as well tonight. We hope you're doing well, dude. I hope you're watching as well and having a good time. But yeah, we hope to see you back on track very soon. Just an interesting one here, Tom. Usually, I mean, we've seen conditions change a lot at Imola. Now, I've only ever done one race here on iRacing, but it seemed that temperature was quite an important thing here because there's quite a lot of abrasive corners you tend to find.
Yeah, especially coming down the hill that we're looking at in the background there. I find when the track's quite hot round here, I've done a bit of GT3 on this circuit, and that can affect it quite a lot. But we see coming out I think that's the back end of the circuit there, as you see one of the Simlab cars getting very sideways, so it proves my point. I think the sun and the heat affects it and makes the track quite slippery, so it'll be interesting to see how the guys fare this evening. But as you say, and then when it gets quite cold and overcast, it can be quite a grippy circuit, so always changing conditions in iRacing nowadays, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a good one. We might have a few thrills and spills, but it's going to make for some great racing.
It certainly is. And I'm going to go a little bit off topic here for a second, because I'm just going to tell you something very strange that's happened. A friend of mine does a pub quiz every Tuesday night, and they always have one question about flags, and I know flags inside out. And they've just messaged me tonight's flag, and they've said the top half is white, the bottom half is light blue, and there's a crest in the middle with leaves up it. Do you want to guess what it is?
Go on.
It's San Marino.
There you go.
That's really weird. So, yeah.
Charles Draycott, fun with flags, everybody.
Yeah. So, yeah, I apologise if that's not your sort of thing, but that's a very strange coincidence. But, yeah. Anyway, back to the wonderful MX-5s we see before us. Qualifying is just coming to an end now. Just looking up and down the timing sheets, and it seems we've got a pole sitter that we've not actually seen before, Tom. Ashley Beard seems to have put it on the front row of the grid. Fantastic stuff for the Excite Energy Esports driver. Alex Cherney will join him on the front row of the grid. Josh Thompson did qualify third, but I think he's actually gone from the session. I can't see him out there at the moment. Pete Van Gool is fourth on the grid with Kip Stevens. Great qualifying for him in fifth, with Jack McIntyre sixth. Jamie Ayres and Steve Hefford make it a Simlab Racing fourth row. Excite Energy Esports fifth row with Jack Ashton and Brian Holmes. Dave Hampson, always quick, is 11th with Nick McCarron in 12th place for Simlab Racing as well. Behind them is James McRitchie, who is the ever-fast AM driver here, in 13th place. Adam McNally lines up 14th. Carl Jacquelet is in 15th place with Carl Hardy 16th, Alan McCain 17th, and Roy Viverke is in 18th place. Joe McDonald and Benjamin Mears round out the top 20 on the 10th row of the grid. They're followed by Northern Lights racing driver Billy Rose, and it's, well, there's 2 triple numbers there, 466. David Ayres is 22nd. Anthony Ainsworth and Mikey Key, 23rd and 24th. Scott Malcolm, 25th, with Lee Barmer in 26th place. Ryan Walker for Excite Energy Esports, he's going to be hoping for a bit of a better result tonight. Marcelo Panion is 28th, he's been quick as well. The 2 Coopers are 29th and 30th on the grid, with Max Wright and Jeroen Urson behind them. Then it's Vincent Halley, Cesare Rizzo, Dave Christie, Dries Nice, and Luis Morga are actually showing us dark grey on our timing sheets, which means I don't think they're in the session. But we will see when they grid up. Most of the drivers on the grid now, there you can see they're not quite straight, Tom. Since they took the chicane out, I think it's lost a slight bit of the character that we used to have there in that last corner. It was a bit of an overtaking opportunity, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the track's changed a lot from what we said about 94. It's a lot slower than it was. It's still a blisterly fast circuit, but with Tamburello gone and a couple of the other chicanes altered, it's moved around quite a lot. So yeah, it's still a really decent circuit. It's just a shame that we don't get a lot of the really big series coming here.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of strange combinations go around here before, but this is probably one of them though. But we know these MX-5s are always exciting. The lights are on and they're out very quickly. Looks like a good start from Joe McDonald in the background. He's having to dive out of the way and get round somebody. Ashley Beard leads him down to turn 1 then. We'll have to see how they get through the chicane. Alex Cherney trying to get a good run around the outside. He's going to hope that he's going to be on the inside for the right-hander part of the chicane. Van Gool getting very close behind him there as they go in. Looks like everybody's filtering through quite cleanly. Great shot there as you can see them all working their way through the chicane, Tom. Left, right, left, and then down the straight to the next chicane here.
Yeah, so it seems that everyone's got through cleanly as well, and it's nice. That's nice to see actually, because it is quite a technical circuit. We haven't had any damage in the background so far. Quite a clump of vehicles right in the middle. These little MX-5s. Well, I think you can get through abreast. One of the Simlab cars up the inside. Not sure who that was at the moment. So Ashley Beard leads the way in the number 28 car. Behind him, Alex Cherney of Swift Cooper Esports, and behind him is Pete Van Gool. So we've got Simlab and Swift Cooper up front in P2 and P3, Chaz, and I think that can make for quite an interesting bit of combination there. And I think we could have an interesting flavour, guys, as we go further on into race 1.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a good scrap between these guys. They've been racing together for a very, very long time, and they're not going to give each other. Well, there it is. There's the end of that. Pete Van Gool off across the front of Kip Stevens, and he's very, very planted into the wall. We did lose, it looks like, Mikey Key, Max Wright, Jeroen Urson had an issue before. Jack McIntyre's gone flying down the order, actually. I think it was McIntyre, sorry, not Van Gool. As Ashton very sideways over the chicane. Kip Stevens is going to try and go past on the right, and he does just that. I do apologise, Peter Van Gool is still going in 3rd place. And there's Steve Hefford just in front of the men into the final few corners for the first time. It's a great run down into there. Feels great no matter what car you're in. Getting it on the brakes, get it turned into these double left-handers. Down the inside is Jamie Ayres on Kip Stevens. Hefford doing a bit of Paris-Dakar there. Dave Hampson testing the waters as well. But we've got one of these very infamous large trains of cars on our hands again, Tom. And, well, I'm going to say it for the first time. So if you all want to start the drinking game at home, I'm going to say the word slipstream. They're nearly 3 wide here. They are 3 wide. Oh, Ashton contact nearly kills the cameraman. That's done a few spins. I hope he's not in VR. I think he is as well. That's going to be a dizzying experience. Jamie Ayres losing a place to Dave Hampson there, but yeah, I don't think Kip Stevens realised they were 3 wide there, because I don't think he would have come over that far if he was. But the top 3 you can see breaking away. Steve Hefford, the next car in there. But that's a real shame, that. Little bits of contact like that turned around. Kip Stevens has caused 2 cars to go off now with that front left corner of his little MX-5, so it's probably not feeling too great, Tom, but like you said before, very technical circuit here, so handling is really what you need. You want to be able to get the good turning into all these corners.
Yeah, I think the last thing you want from a personal point of view would be a loose setup round here. It's a very difficult track to get right. It's easy to drive, so to speak. It's very hard to master, and also that AstroTurf out there and the GT3 car, that'll have you round. So luckily they've got a little bit less power in the MX-5. But yeah, as you say, Kip Stevens been involved in 2 incidents so far. I think he's playing Destruction Derby 2 at the moment. But yeah, no, he's we know how quick Kip can be, and I'm sure he'll come back in the races to follow. But there's quite a nice train, as you say, Chaz, starting to form now. Looking at Brian Holmes in the number 58. He's not set the world alight so far this race. He's down a place from where he started. He started in P10, but he is all over the back of James McRitchie at the moment. McRitchie currently leading the AM race in the number 22 car, and he's chasing down Kip Stevens. You see Brian Holmes late on the brakes, and as you're coming downhill, it pushes all the weight forward onto the front nose of the car. And I don't know what you've had experience with that, Chaz, but it seems to be very easy to let the rear go into there.
Yeah, because you come in from a corner where you're turning right, and you're trying to smoothly get it on the brakes as best you can, going into a left-hander. So there is a bit of weight transfer to think about, and we've seen that the MX5 isn't always the master of that. Going 3 wide again with Kip Stevens on the outside here. This is tempting fate for Dave Hampson. Really close as they go down the not quite straight into turns 1 and 2. Brian Holmes looks like he's going to get this done though. Hampson's going to try and go late on the brakes. Fantastic racing by those two. Brian Holmes gets it done, but he's quite far over the curbs there. I'm not sure really what this track's like for slowdowns. It doesn't seem to be that harsh though as Holmes carries on. But just looking at the top 3 there, you could see them in the background. Beard has got Cherney right behind him, and right behind him is Van Gool. Really close together there. But there's some really good battles going on out there. Steve Cooley has just mentioned in the... Oh, there's Brian Holmes' slowdown then. So he did get one. It's quite preempted. There's the rather sort of bent-in Swift Cooper Esports MX5 with Kip Stevens. A couple of cars out there, Tom, we're rocking a bit of damage at the moment, but it's to be expected. It's quite a compact circuit. Some battles further down here. Ryan Walker making his way up the field. He's past Roy Viverke. This must be a great drive from Ryan Walker. He's gained 13 places so far, biggest mover in the field. And I say it every week, if he puts the practice in, he's got some proper pace in this MX5, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has.
Hampson, sorry, Hampson down the order.
Yeah, he looks like he's just had a bit of a spin. As they come down the bottom end of the circuit, there could be a tricky corner to get right. The car's still weaving and shaking as he goes on the grass, but a decent rejoin from him there. As we look back at the replay, comes in then, pushes it out a little bit wide, gets 2 wheels on the grass, onto the brakes and turn at the same time, and around it went. So an easy mistake to make that one, and it's quite a tricky corner to get right. But as we go back looking at talking about Ryan Walker, sorry, yeah, I think he can be such a quick driver when he wants. McNally up the inside though of Jamie Ayres. Ayres fights back though on the outside. Ayres still with him. Oh, and then McNally steps out just a whisker, which gives McNally the run again. And McRitchie's out. He looks to be falling down the order, Chaz.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to him there. I think he was a bit higher, and then I'm not sure about you guys, but on my screen he just appeared in front of another car. He got turned around and it rolled over. So not quite sure what happened. We've got 3 wide once again coming into turn 1. Steve Hefford on the inside, in the middle. McNally on the inside. Ayres on the outside, and Hefford's made it stick. He was 4th before with Steve Hefford, so obviously this battle has sort of gobbled him up a bit, and he's gained the places back very quickly. But Adam McNally's going to be feeling a little bit outnumbered here, Tom. He's got 3 of the quickest guys in the series around him: Nick McCarron, Jamie Ayres, and Steve Hefford. So he's going to be he's got to put the work in here, and I'm sure that somewhere there'll be another Excite. Well, there you go. Directly behind this battle's another Excite car. They're never too far apart, are they?
No, they're not. They seem to be, as we've spoken to Adam McNally. As we've spoken to Adam before in the interview rooms, they often seem to be clumped together. They're like pigeons, really, or penguins. So they're always together on track. As we look towards the front of the grid, then Alex Cherney, Swift Cooper Esports, leads from Ashley Beard, and then from Pete Van Gool as well. So we've got a nice little race going on here. Ashley Beard down a place. Alex Cherney has taken the lead in the number 19 machine as they come towards, which I think is the trickiest part of the circuit. This chicane always catches a lot of people out as Cherney takes the defensive line and then cuts back in. And Ashley Beard a little bit too far back that time, Chas, but as they bounce them off the curbs. It must be so easy through there. In fact, I know it is so easy through there to end up getting a slowdown, and you know that can ruin your race at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. And when you've got such a big gap around you like these guys have, I mean, look at the gap back to 4th place. These guys have got it easy at the moment. They just need to sort of work together almost until the last few laps, and then really have a go at each other, because they're just breaking away. So that'll mean they can afford to have a battle a bit further down. Jamie Ayres is showing us off the circuit. I think he might just run wide. Hefford still holding on to 4th though. McNally is ahead of Ayres. McCarron is in 7th. And Carl Jacquelet leading the way in the AM battle at the moment, thanks to that retirement from Richie. But he's got Hardy and Viverke directly behind him as well, as we see Ashley Beard making a really good run around the outside now on Cherney. Going into turn 1. Both very late on the brakes there. They just get it turned in. Beard is now on the inside. Oh, he's going to run wide though. Oh, does really well not to make contact. Van Gool down the inside. Really opportunistic stuff. Almost pushes Beard out of the way. Beard did some great avoidance there. Flicked it to the right. Still side by side into the second chicane there. You got to think Van Gool's going to have it. He certainly does. And Cherney's going to be hoping these guys keep fighting because he's going to end up getting away there, Tom. But I've just had a quick look. Viverke's just dropped down behind Cooper. Oh, no, never mind that. There's Halley and Christie flying off at the second chicane. Not sure what caused that, but I'm sure Alex will probably already be lining up a replay to have a look. Here he is. He's already on it. Oh, there's contact in front. Oh, it seemed like, I think they were 3 wide going into there, you know, and then just got a bit squeezed and 2 of them went off to the right. And it was actually the first chicane. I apologise. I thought it was the second. Here's the view. Yep, 3 wide. Malcolm on the inside. Halley and Christie. You know what? I think one of them, yeah, he went round the outside to try and slide it down there, and then one of them came across and turned, and well, there you go. That's all she wrote, as you say, Tom.
Yep.
Over the chicane again. Great battle for the lead this, though. This is shaping up to be a real fierce one.
Yeah, it is. I think it's anyone's guess at the moment. But it's these sort of battles that sometimes do end up bringing mistakes, but these 3 drivers are some of the cleanest in the series. As Alex Cherney comes down to round off to come through the last corners to finish his 5th onto his 6th lap now. And I've got to say, Chaz, this race has flown by. We're bloody 10 minutes into it currently so far. As we're on board now with Pete Van Gool. Oh, he's gone very inside, nearly hit the pit wall. It's like a 1980s IMSA race, that. being pushed off by a C5 Corvette. But here we go then. There's Ashley Beard, and look at the slipstream he's got there. He's coming up the inside. There's nothing really that Van Gool has to answer that, unless he goes very late on the brakes, which he doesn't. He doesn't Danny Ricciardo it, and he lets Ashley Beard through. Alex Cherney currently leading the race then in the number 19 Swift Cooper Esports race car. And that's what they'll be wanting, Chaz, Swift Cooper, because XI and SimLab are their main rivals. And we see Van Gool having another little look up the inside. But as you can see, for you guys watching at home, how risky it is to try and make a move on this circuit. It's such a tight and twisty one, and it's a proper old school one. I mean, this is blocks racing, this as you call it, Chaz, going round here. But Van Gool's made a bit of a mistake coming out the hairpin, isn't he? And he seems to have lost time, Chaz.
Yeah, I think he tried to tuck it in a bit too tight, and he knew that he was going to clip the curb, and that could have slowed him down on exit. So he's gone a bit wide there. You can see Jamie Ayres and Nick McCarron have been sucked back into this battle here. Marcelo Panion's in there in the Swift Cooper Esports car. McNally and Ayres side by side into the left-hander. It looks like all that battling has hindered these guys. Oh, a bit of a hip check there from Jamie Ayres on McNally. I think he just ran wide innocently. But once again, we've got Excite cars just sort of culminating together here. Adam McNally's going to get some help off Ryan Walker, who's gained 17 places now. But Marcelo Panion, 21 positions gained at the moment, up to 7th. What a drive that is. And he's going to be right in the mix with the pro guys for the next races after this. Just chucking it through the chicane. Not too tough on the car. It's easy to bounce this car around, and like you said, with that infamous AstroTurf on the exit, you can quite easily lose it. Bit of love in the chat at the moment for Carl Jacquelet, saying how fierce he was in the battles last night, and of course the MX5 Monday Cup. The AM drivers, which you can see designated by the green strips on the left of the screen, do have their own sort of separate races on the Monday night as well. Some of the pro guys jump in just to use it as a bit of practice as well. You can see at the top of the screen there's the designation and the best laps in their categories at the moment. So about a second gap between them. Well, it's 1.1 now, thanks to Ashley Beard. Got some decent lap times being put down by these guys, Tom. But now that Van Gool's lost a bit of time, it's going to be interesting to see if they can catch back up. We've got McNally, sorry, it's Holmes and Hefford side by side into turn 1, and then we've got Cherney and Ayres as well. Sorry, Panion and Ayres. I keep getting these guys mixed up. They're both in blue and black. Oh, he's just bounced off the curb and given Ayres a bit of a nudge. Oh, and he gives it back. Has he saved it? Has he saved it? I think he has. Does a great job there to save it. I don't think it was intentional by either driver. Oh, really defensive driving there by Panion on his teammate, Jason Cooper, who's also made a lot of ground. 18 places. Ryan Walker now the biggest mover in the field, 19 places gained. He's just got past Kip Stevens as well. Jason Cooper's there. Sorry, it was Jason Cooper I was looking at. He's just gained his 19th place. So it's equal. Holmes and Heffern into very battered MX5s just in front there, Tom. There's a bit of argy-bargy going on, but it's not too fierce. It's quite controlled, but this has turned into a real train now. And these two, McNally and Ez, still going at it.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? And I think it might end up in tears. They need to keep calm. It's coming towards the end of the race. Ayres gets it through there. That was a nice move up the inside to keep Walker at bay. But as you say, they're in very battered MX5s now, but it seems to be more cosmetic than anything. Walker gets a brilliant run coming out of there up towards the chicane. He might stick it up the inside of Ayres. Yeah, he does. Good, nice move there from the Scotsman.
Jamie.
And it's all over the place for them. And it's just nice to see the guys really pushing them hard on this circuit. It is a brilliant track. It's one of the iconic ones, isn't it? And that's what we love. As we look back towards the front, then Ashley Beard in P2, still following Alex Cherney. A great defensive drive from him. As you say, Chaz, Pete Van Gool has caught up while these guys are scrapping. Van Gool's gone right onto the green painted tarmac there. Just to see if he can have a look where he can pass, but we've got Ashley Beard now going to try and make a move around the outside into turn one.
Oh.
They don't touch, and that was a brilliant move, very, very brave, and that's brought Pete Van Gool back into it now. And Pete Van Gool sits in P2, and I think he might take the lead here. Yeah, he has. He's got the edge now on Ashley Beard, and Chaz, what a move that was. Brave, probably slightly silly, but it really did pay off for him.
Oh, he put a lot of trust in Alex Cherney there. That was very close racing, but Pete Van Gool, opportunistic as anything. And now Cherney and Beard are fighting again. So this is going to give it to Van Gool. They're both sideways coming out of the hairpin. Cherney's giving him no room here. He's giving him the maximum room he needs. Nothing else. And they're still fighting. But Beard, he's going to be sort of ruining that chance, though, because he did do a brilliant move into turn one, but Van Gool was just so opportunistic. Look at the gap these guys have got on the rest of the field, though. You can see that on the mini-map on the right-hand side. Just how far ahead they are. So hopefully these guys keep it clean in the fight for the podium. There's no damage on any of the cars involved. They've done a great job because when you look at the train, a massive train behind them, it's not quite as clean in the bodywork department. Jack Alette still leading the AM category from Hardy, Viverke and McDonald. Those four still together on track. Oh, Van Gool, 4 wheels off the ground over that second curve there. Only a couple of corners to go, though, Tom. Do you reckon Beard's going to go for it?
I think Beard might get this to do with that elusive slipstream, although it looks like he might try and stick one up the inside coming into the last corners. Van Gool on the outside, and he goes quite defensive, brakes really late, but Beard got the nose in the number 28. He pushes Van Gool wide. I think there was contact there. Either that or you're going to get a cigarette paper between them. So Beard out in front now, but here comes the slipstream as they come towards the line. Beard defending nicely. Van Gool looks out to the left, and I think it might just be Beard. Cherney on the inside. No, Beard just gets it. And what a brilliant race by those guys there. Fantastic stuff to watch, and great battles all around as we see Brian Holmes and Steve Hefford come over the line, Chaz, and just a 100th of a second between them.
Yeah. Very close finish from those guys. Look at this train of cars coming through here. You've got Ayres, McCarron, Walker, Hampson, Stevens, Cooper. Jack Alette wins the AM category from Carl Hardy, Roy Viverke, Joe McDonald. Marcelo Pagnon finishes 16th. McNally actually dropped down to 17th in that one. Not quite sure what happened to him. But some brilliant battles all the way through as always there. As we see Alan McCain crossing the line just behind Scott Malcolm there. But that was brilliant. Really, really good to watch. That top three was just, yeah, really, real good example of how hard you can race each other there. Well-deserved victory from Ashley Beard, though. Effectively lights the flag, but Van Gool and Cherney did not make that easy for him. But that was some of the best racing we've seen. And once again, Tom, it's a track car combo we've not seen before, but it's really surprised us.
Yeah, it's not one of the Japanese tracks which normally delivers so much. I mean, we're in San Marino at the moment, but it's actually been brilliant, really. I saw that we were going to Imola, and I thought, it's more suited to a lot higher power stuff. But the high power tracks, Chaz, just seem to suit this MX5 down to the ground, and it really does give us some brilliant racing. And then when we go to places like Monza, it can be quite stale for a few laps of the races. So, yeah, I think Imola's providing some brilliant racing here.
Yeah, I suppose there's not that many massive straights. It's very sort of windy, which helps these guys out. But it's just one of them, innit? You'd never know till you try it. And well, race 1 was good enough. We've got 3 races coming up for you tonight, of course. Don't forget to subscribe to the iRacing Esports Network. And of course, hit the little bell icon if you want to be notified of future videos. And of course, head over to Apex Racing TV as well, where you can see me, Tom, and Alex in action a little bit more often. And we are over on Facebook as well. We do stream on Twitch, including our Facebook streams. But this is shaping up to be a really, really exciting evening. We've got your own Ursum already predicting 30 on the reverse grid wheel, Tom, and I'm sure we're about to see some donuts in sync in the background here from Beard and Cherney if you want to run through the results.
Yeah, so Ashley Beard takes a well-deserved win, only 1.7 hundredths of a second, 17 hundredths of a second, sorry, from Pete Van Gool. Alex Cherney takes P3 to round off the podium. Steve Hefford in P4, a sterling drive from him. Really enjoyable to watch. Behind him, Brian Holmes in 5th, Jamie Ayres was 6th, Nick McCarron in 7th, then Ryan Walker in 8th, another brilliant drive. Dave Hampton in 9th, Kip Stevens in 10th. I think his earlier incidents made him suffer a little bit, and Jason Cooper in 11th. Carl Jacquelet is your AM race winner in P12. Behind him, Carl Hardy and Roy Ververke, and they round out the AM race podium. Joe McDonald in 15th. 16th, Marcelo Pagnon, who'll be looking to come back through the order in the races coming up. Adam McNally in 17th, and then Billy Rose for Northern Lights Racing in 18th. 19th was Benjamin Muse, David Ayres was 20th, Max Wright in 21st, 22nd was Scott Malcolm, Alan McCain in 23rd, Mikey Key in 24th with your own Ursum in 25th. Let's see if his reverse wheel guess pays off. Vincent Halley is 26th, Dave Christie in 27th, Anthony Ainsworth in 28th, and then your non-finishers were, Dave Christie, Anthony Ainsworth, James McRitchie, Lee Balmer, Jack Ashton, Luke Cooper, Jack McIntyre, Cesaro Rizzo, Josh Thompson, and Dries Nice.
Smashing stuff. Thank you very much, Tom. And for the first time tonight, I believe we shall have Mr. Alex Simpson with the reverse grid wheel.
Indeed we do. Hello everybody. Be here as always. Right. Straight to it. Give it a spin. See who's going to get that pole. Right, just missed the 50. Looking like 25. Yes, it is.
So that will mean then that 25th place was it was your own Ursum. Mikey Key will start alongside him on the front row. Alan McCain and Scott Malcolm making up row 2, and Max Wright will be 5th on the grid as well. So if you join me, Alex and Tom in 10 to 15 minutes time on the iRacing Esports Network, we will bring you race 2 of the BSR MX5 Winter Series from Imola. Don't go away.
Lee Thompson here, bringing you another hot lap in preparation for tonight's BSR Radical Thursday on
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line.
Coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Racely to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Looks to the outside as Trunkett goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Welcome back to Imola for the BSR MX5 Winter Series on the iRacing Esports Network. Chaz Draycott here with you for race 2 of 4 this evening. Alongside me is Tom Jacobs and Alex Simpson. Tom, we saw some brilliant racing as always from these guys in race 1, and now the reverse grid is going to spice it up even more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. Watching these guys practice, we've had a few of the guys struggling. The track's actually really hot. It's fluctuating between 37 and 38 degrees C, so that's about 100 Fahrenheit. So it could be an interesting one for the guys out there, as we see a couple of guys getting sideways on the grass as well. So, yeah, I hope you're looking forward to this one, because I have a feeling it's going to be an interesting one.
It's going to get very spicy indeed. Now, obviously, on these short races, tyre life isn't really much of a concern for these guys, but just overall grip. I mean, we know, all three of us firsthand, that the iRacing tyre model is quite sensitive to heat a lot of the time. So if you do overdo it in one corner here, then it might have quite an adverse effect for the next few laps or so, at least, if you're not careful to them. So be interesting to see whether anyone does do that and whether they lose out because of it. So it's something to definitely watch. It's just adds another little element into it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's going to be... I don't think they're going to affect it too much, but I think with these hotter weathers conditions that we've talked about, I think towards the end of the race, especially if the guys are battling hard, you're probably going to lose a fair bit of grip towards the end. And as I say, going over the top of hill towards the chicane and then down the hill into the last two corners is going to be a fun one for them. So, especially at the front and in the midfield, I think that's going to be the main places where we're going to have maybe a few issues, but I think we'll get some great racing as well.
Certainly will. And one person you do have to feel for is your own Ursum. He did get the reverse grid wheel to start on pole position for this one, but he's actually got a pit lane start penalty from something in the previous round for race 2, so he won't actually be starting on the front row of the grid. That will give Mick Barry's Result Clothing teammate Mikey Key pole position. Alan McCain is 3rd, effectively. Scott Malcolm 4th, Max Wright 5th, David Ayres 6th. Then it's Benjamin Mears and Billy Rose on row 4. McNally and Panion make a great row 5. That'll be a good scrap. Joe McDonald and Roy Viverke 11th and 12th. Then it's Carl Hardy, Carl Jackalette, Jason Cooper and his teammate Kip Stevens 15th and 16th. Dave Hampson, Ryan Walker. And then you've got a lot of SimLab and Excite cars there of Nick McCarron, Jamie Ayres, Brian Holmes, Steve Hefford, Alex Cherney for Swift Cooper Esports, Peter Van Gool 24th. Then it's Ashley Beard 25th, Vincent Halley, Dave Christie, Anthony Ainsworth, James McRitchie, Jack Ashton, Luke Cooper, Jack McIntyre, and Cesare Rizzo rounds out the field. Just looking at the amount of AMs here, actually, Tom, just before the lights come on, we've got 13 of them at the moment, so it seems like a bit of a smaller grid, but the lights are on. And Mikey Key takes the lead quite quickly, as you can imagine, as you see on the timing screen on the left, but quite a tame start. Looked like whoever was alongside Billy Rose got a great getaway there. I think it was Adam McNally. You can see him on the inside in the Excite Energy Sports car. You can just see how bright it is, though. iRacing has really sort of amplified the effects that the hot weather have since their update in December. And you can see that it's hot now. And it's really good to see, because you get a bit of a feel for the conditions while you're watching it. And obviously, I hope all you at home can witness that as well. But nice tame start for that one, Tom. Doesn't look like too many people have had issues.
No, I think everyone's through nice and cleanly. So far, a couple of guys pushing it out wide. Mikey Key doing a sterling job throughout the first half of the lap, keeping it nice and clean, keeping ahead of Alan McCain, who I'm sure will be pushing to hunt him down. But Alan McCain currently leading the Pro category, and then obviously Mikey Key out in front leading the AM category. So yeah, everyone's through nice and cleanly, but this is going to be an interesting one coming down the hill now into the left-hander. Mikey Key pushes it out very wide. And that won't be doing him any favours there, Chaz, coming through there, as they then come back down the hill still into these two tight ones. And I think this is going to be might get a few little bits of argy-bargy coming up through towards the end of the lap, as we see. I think that's McNally and McCain are currently too wide, Chaz, as Adam McNally moves into 3rd place and into the podium positions.
Yeah, Max Wright made a nice little move as well. Opportunity. Oh, Mikey Key's gone straight in on the chicane. That's going to give him a big slow down. Oh, there was contact between Rose and someone else. McDonald's around there. He's on the grass. Oh, and there's David Ayres coming back across. Walker's involved. That's Ayres, Stevens, Ashley Beard, race 1 winner. Dave Hampson's going slow. There's some other guys avoiding it as well. Brian Holmes in there. Jack Ashton. Nick McCarron's off at the side. Oh, that was a real mess. Alex Cherney going slow as well. I think some guys just got slowdowns trying to avoid that, as we see both of the neon yellow highlighted cars of Jason Cooper and Steve Hefford. Real shame that, because it was, well, it's shaping up to be a good fight anyway. Steve Hefford, give it a take a bow, son, giving it everything on the exit there. Great save. I'm sure it was exciting in VR. It was exciting from our angle, but yeah, real shame for that battle there, Tom. There was some nice team racing, but McNally is already in the lead. 8 places gained in 1 lap. Fair play, son.
Yeah, he's having a great drive so far, isn't he? The number 478 Excite Racing car of Adam McNally, and he's starting to pull away as well. And if he can do that, it might be in the bag for him. But McCain's a quick driver, so is Max Wright as well. They're not pro drivers for nothing. As we see there, Max Wright putting it up the inside on Alan McCain now still. Retains P2, but yeah, as you say, a bit of a shame. But I said this would happen. The conditions are nice and hot out there, and the cars are going to be slippery, because they won't necessarily be set up for hot weather conditions. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one towards the end of the race. But we've currently got Ayres, Hefford, Stevens, Walker's in there as well, all fighting in the midfield. So that could be an interesting one as well, Charles.
Yeah, we always get good battles up and down the order here. There's a big chunk of AM drivers from 4th place back. You can see Benjamin Mears there leading the way. Scott Malcolm behind him. Mikey Key still in there. He's 3rd in AM at the moment, so we'll be trying to make up that ground that he lost in the chicane on the first lap. Mears a bit wide there, loses the rear end. Jacqueline and Hardy there, as always. Those two are very quick in the AM category as well. But like you say, fantastic battle in the midfield. Some big names going to be making their way up. Just looking at the biggest movers. James McRitchie, he had his sim froze in the first race, I believe. He's gained 15 places. He's 14th now. So fantastic start for him. That's going to put him right in the mix with the reverse grid, at least, for the 3rd and 4th races. Still 2 to go tonight. So don't go away anytime soon. Got more and more exciting racing, and it gets more and more exciting over the course of the night, depending on how many reverse grids we have. Well, not that that amount ever changes anyway. Max Wright, though, really trying to defend from Alan McCain now, but this is for a podium, so very important for him. But McNally's doing a fine job out front, Tom.
Yeah, he is. He's starting to pull away. He's got a gap of about a second now on the guys behind him. As we look at Scott Malcolm in P6, taking on Mikey Key, goes towards the inside of the number 74 Mad car. And see Mikey Key giving him plenty of room there as they come into turn 1. Looks like Malcolm has got the job done. He stays on the inside, but Mikey Key very late on the brakes. If he can still keep his nose in, he can't just quite get there. So Scott Malcolm moves up into 5th place. He'll now be chasing down Benjamin Mears to take the AM race lead. I just want to have a little say, Chaz. Steve Hefford up 11 places so far, as you say. McRitchie as well is currently up 13, and Jack McIntyre up 14. So the pro guys are now really starting to get their foot down. And I think if Steve Hefford can get onto the back of Carl Hardy and then follow Jason Cooper through the AMs, he could be looking at being quite high up the order here.
Oh, there goes Mears. Oh, sorry, Viverke. It's not Mears, it's Viverke on the AstroTurf that you mentioned earlier, Tom. Lights up the right rear, unbalances the car, and off he goes. Real shame, but it's easy to do. Must have been just pushing extra hard there. But yeah, Scott Malcolm, I think, was behind Mears before, so I think he lost that place and then regained it in the same lap from Mikey Key. So good to see him making it back, and he's pushing hard here for an AM category win. He's taken a couple before. So we're just checking him now as he runs through. This is a guy to watch, though, Jason Cooper. He's made a couple of places up so far. I say a couple, it's 8. So he's done a fine job as always. Nice clean car on him. Chucks it through the chicane, and hopefully, Tom, for him anyway, well, I was going to say he'll be clear of Mikey Key before long, and I think he might do it before the next corner.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to, isn't it? If in here also, he might even put a move on Scott Malcolm if he can get right up behind him here, but he's currently, looks like he's got Mikey Key done and dusted. He's a little bit too far back from Scott Malcolm. I didn't think he expected Malcolm to break that early, actually. Had to get hard on the anchors there. We've got someone slow, Dave Christie, down in 23rd position, and I think that might have been a slowdown for him there, Chaz, because he was way off the pace coming out there. He's got quite a lot of damage on the front of the car at the moment as Anthony Ainsworth goes up the inside of Marcelo Pagnon, and that's not a move you see every day, is it?
No, definitely not. Giving it everything he's got, Anthony Ainsworth. Fair play to him, as we see Jack McIntyre right in the thick of it here with the man with the greatest YouTube name of all time, James McRitchie. He's really chasing these boys. He's going to be a pro before long, I'm telling you now. Spoiler alert. Kip Stevens on the inside there. McIntyre around the outside into turn 1. Nicely played. through the right-hander, gets away. Really well placed there by McIntyre. He controlled it very well. Steve Hefford seems to have had a slowdown. He's going slow ahead of these guys. Cherney's going to try and take advantage of that into the second chicane. Side by side. McIntyre, though, we've seen previous champion a couple of times in this series. Oh, that didn't need to happen. That was contact between Key and Malcolm. Scott Malcolm will be furious about that. He just needs to light the rears up and spin it around, I think. He does just that. Nicely done, Scott. Off he goes. Real shame that, though, because he was in the battle for the AM lead, effectively, and this is another guy that's involved in it now. It's Carl Jacquelet. No one's going to see him coming, are they?
No, they're not. I see what you mean. But no, it's nice to see Carl Jacquelet up there in the yellow banana. I think we're missing a green pea this evening. Actually, we haven't got a nice vegetable or fruit racing around there this evening. Carl Hardy Result Clothing coming under pressure from Steve Hefford at the moment. Hefford seems to have suffered a little bit from that slowdown earlier on. He's got his SimLab friends in there with him though. But he's also got Kip Stevens with him for Swift Cooper Esports as they come into the chicane now. Carl Hardy taking an interesting line coming out. Oh, no. And he just gets spun round at number 375. He'll get that going again though. But not too sure what happened there with Ashley Beard. Chaz, I think it was just a case of wrong place, wrong time.
I think it was McRitchie. He bounced it on the curb, and I think he was sort of sliding on the exit. Carl Hardy was actually doing some really respectful racing as well, because he got out of the way of the pro guys to just let them have their battle. So it's a real shame it turned out like that. I think McRitchie just sort of lost it on the exit, and as he corrected it, he flung the front end into the back of into his car. I don't think there was much McRitchie could have done. He either spun it and, well, he lost a shed ton of places, but yeah, he had to go for saving it. You just have to, don't you? So it's a shame to see that happen, but I think it was just unfortunate circumstances for Carl Hardy. He's a very understanding bloke, though, so I'm sure he'll understand that McRitchie had no option. Jamie Ayres now in the middle of the AM category battle, as you can see, but if you look at the front, Adam McNally and Max Wright are still very close together, actually, but they've got a huge gap over Alan McCain now, so it's shaping up to be a good scrap as Mikey Key samples the hot weather and goes to the beach for a second on the exit of that chicane there. He's going to be chasing down Jamie Ayres, but Jamie in that battered car seems to be pushing quite hard here, Tom, to try and get further up.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? It doesn't seem to be affecting too much. It seems to, with the MX5, it looks a lot worse than it is. It's probably because the engine's quite far back in the chassis itself, so it doesn't really take too much damage when you hit it quite hard on the front. It's the same as the 911 RSR, as I found out at an elusive Road Atlanta race, Chaz. Remember that when I was around yours? So, but yeah, it seems to be more cosmetic. Doesn't really affect it. You might lose a couple of miles an hour in a straight line, but the car seems to still be going well. As we have a look at Max right now in the number 2 car, and he's got Alan McCain for company, and McCain still isn't letting them go. And I think this could shape up to be quite a nice battle. But what McNally's going to want in the 478, he's going to want McCain and Wright to start battling, isn't he? And if he can get that, then he can really get the hammer down. Because at the moment, he's got an excuse really to save his tyres. But if these guys start battling nice and hard, then he'll just be able to get his toe down properly towards the end of the race and inevitably take the win. So,
yeah, he's given it everything he's got. Well, Alan McCain, he's looking like he's going to make a move on Max right here. He's got a bit of slipstream. Max has given him plenty of room out to the right. And I think Max is going to play it safe here and try and work together with him to catch that elusive Excite Energy Esports car of McNally in front. Personally, I think it'd be great to see McNally get a win. He's not had a win for a while. And we are a big fan of him here in the commentary booth. A really good lad. Does a good job with the Excite Energy boys. As Carl Jacquelet's still fighting off Jamie Ayres here. Doing a really good job. Oh, Jamie Ayres tries to get the cutback. Doesn't work. And here comes Alex Cherney to try and be as opportunistic as possible. Jack McIntyre in there as well. Carl Jacquelet will be bricking it right now with these guys behind him. But he's putting up a fight, though. You've got to give it to him. In what is now dubbed the yellow banana. Jamie Ayres giving it sideways. Oh, McIntyre on the outside. Bit of contact on the grass he goes. There's another SimLab car. Steve Hefford diving in as well. He's getting bullied out of this, is Carl Jacquelet. But he doesn't give up. Hefford on the exit gets him then. But, wow, that was a rough ride for him. I'm glad he got through that, though, because he's doing a great job second in AM at the moment. But now he's got a couple of cars between him in a big gap. It looks like Benjamin Mears might have this AM win wrapped up. But there's the commentator's curse, so let's see how long he lasts.
Yeah, hopefully. I think Mius deserves a nice AM race win. He's been fighting really hard and defending well from the pro guys. But just back on Jackalette, you've got to think when you've got Ayres, McIntyre, Cherney and Hefford, they're some of the quickest drivers in the MX5 pretty much in Europe. They're proper pro level guys. So as we said before in previous races, it's about picking your battles as they go 2 for 2 in formation into the chicane. McIntyre in the 37 really bouncing it hard over the curbs. You just see how soft they've got the car set up for round here, and that's probably one of the main reasons why. Having a look at James Ritchie in the 022, and he's taken on Kip Stevens coming down towards the final 2 corners. Down the hill now they go, and this is a really tricky braking area to get yourself into. McRitchie, the car stepped out a little bit, I think, and he put it out onto the curb, but he's not letting Kip Stevens get away. And that's why it's hashtag McRitchie for pro as they chase down Carl Jackalette now. And McRitchie, I think, Chaz, might catch him in the last 2 laps. Whether he can take that elusive P2 in AM remains to be seen.
Yeah, he's got the pace, definitely. But whether he's got the traffic is yet to see. Just have a quick look now then. There they go through the chicane. Great to watch these cars go through there. The weight transfer on the MX5 is quite an elusive one. Here they go into the second chicane, and this is Ashley Beard now putting a lot of pressure on Steve Hefford. We've seen Ashley be really quick this season. Just got caught up in a couple of incidents that's really sort of hurt his championship fight. They both go off wide. Back on they come. And into the left-hander hairpin now. You can see them taking different lines through every corner. Beard trying to get the best line out to get a good run, and Hefford taking a bit of a defensive line in. It's not really worked for him there, though. Beard might get a little bit of a run up to the left-hander. I don't think it'll be wise to have a dive down the inside here. I think he's just going to have to play the waiting game. Oh, he put 2 wheels on the grasser. That was very risky through there. I was expecting it to go around very quickly. But just a note on McRitchie as well, actually. I noticed in one of the... I took some pictures of that car last week for the Apex Racing TV Facebook page. And it's actually sponsored by a company called Asymmetric. And the livery is asymmetrical as well. Just thought it was a nice little pun. But Jackalette, as you will notice, is going down the timing sheets on the left. I'm not quite sure why that'll be. I don't know whether he's been disqualified for incident points, but it'd be a bit difficult to manage that as it stands at the moment. He's had a bit of contact here and there, though, Tom, so it is a possibility.
Yeah, he seems to be back in the pits, doesn't he? I think he's out. So, unfortunate for him, I don't think Alex is able to find him on the timing screen.
Yeah, I think it might be a disconnection, guys, actually, because, like you say, I can't find him anywhere, not in the pit lane or anything, so it could be a disconnect.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it in the sim to see where that comes up. Wow, look at the car of Peter Van Gool. That's not in good shape there. But as it stands at the moment, though, he's only just gone a lap down. So I reckon, well, hopefully he's going to be in with a shout of the reverse grid, though, for keeping that car going. So fair play, Peter, because it's literally on 2 wheels in turn 1 there for Peter Van Gool. But what a scrap we've got going on here. James McRitchie, Max Wright and Jason Cooper. This is for the last 2 spots on the podium. The other one very comprehensively owned by Adam McNally at the moment. Oh, James McRitchie, sorry, Alan McCain, really sideways there. Goes a bit deep into the hairpin. Look at Cooper trying to get that run off the corner. Has to avoid Max Wright slightly, so it doesn't quite work out for him there, but half a lap to go. Plenty of time to try and get a move done. But this is, once again, Tom, a 3-car scrap on the last lap, and this is exactly what we want to see.
Yeah, it is. This is what we sim racers live for. And as we see, Cooper having a little look on the inside, coming down the hill now. Looks to have got the move done on Max Wright, and he does get it done. But of course, then Max Wright will have the slipstream as they come towards the line, although it's not the longest straight here. But now these two chasing down Alan McCain. Cooper knows what he's got to do. He's a very wise old owl in that number 35 car, coming over the chicane for the final time. Max Wright currently sitting in P4. In front of him, Jason Cooper and Alan McCain. The number 17 machine has put in a sterling drive so far. I think the only thing that's going to slow down Jason Cooper is the damage. but it won't be too much. Coming down towards the final 2 corners, hard on the brakes, tip the car in, and McCain's gone very wide, and he's out onto the gravel, and I think that's cost him, to be honest. Jason Cooper moves up into P2, Max Wright into P3, but coming across the line now to take your race 2 win is Adam McNally of Excite Energy Esports. A really, really good drive for him in the number 478 Mazda MX5. Brilliant drive for him. Jason Cooper takes P2, and then, of course, it will be Max Wright finishing P3. Behind him, Alan McCain after that mistake at the end. Jack McIntyre coming in finishing P7, and then Steve Hefford P9 behind Ashley Beard there. So, interesting race, that one, Chaz. Not as hectic as I thought it was going to be. We obviously had that massive incident about 2 laps in. But yeah, apart from that, it's been brilliant as we've seen McNally getting the rear end out the way he does and how he does best.
Oh yeah, he's loving it. He'll be very happy with that. Look at that. Go on, son. Oh, no, he's binned it. Well, they'll have to still fix it for race 3, but yeah, really controlled drive for him. Then he got everything done on lap 1, and he just drove away from there. Second Excite Energy Esports win of the night, though. Doesn't get much better than that. And they've both worked hard for it. Look at him still get the rear end out with the damage, and there's Mias doing the same. He won the AM category, of course, did Ben Mias. So really, really good stuff from him. James McRitchie second in the AM category, all the way down in 12th. So convincing win as well from Benjamin Mias. And you can see the guys making the most of the hot weather, burning up them rear tyres right now. They don't need them anymore. So you may as well shred them, boys. Looking down the order, though, it's we actually had quite a lot of guys not finishing that one, obviously, because of the incident. Pete Van Gool did finish on the lead lap, though, it seems. So he's going to be in with a shout of the reverse grid. So did Carl Jacquelet, actually. He was classified as 1 lap down. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. I'm just trying to see. I can't see that he actually disconnected anyway, you know, boys. Just having a quick look in the sim, and it doesn't say that he had an issue with his connection. So
might be a hardware failure, though. It's
yeah. You never know. We'll have to see whether he pops up in the chat and has a word. Jeroen Ursum has given his predictions for the next reverse grid wheel of 30. So we'll have to see whether he can do that. We'll have to check where he finished in that race as well. He actually finished in 17th. So as we see one of the cars going off again there. It's not going to have to be a big one for that, but we have the results in now, Tom, if you do the honours.
So Adam McNally is your race 2 winner for Excite Energy Esports. Behind him, Jason Cooper for Swift Cooper Esports. So good drives by them. Max Wright rounds out your podium in the pro class in P3. Alan McCain in P4 after he fell off right at the end, but he'll be looking to come back. Benjamin Mias takes your AM race win in for the Automech Knock Hill team. And he's driving the number 13 car. Behind him, Alex Cherney, the number 19 in P6. Jack McIntyre P7 with Ashley Beard in P8. Steve Hefford in the number 72 car in P9. Jamie Ayres behind him, rounding out the top 10. Kip Stevens comes home in P11. Behind him, James McRitchie, P2 in the AM race. Marcelo Pagnon in 13th, with Joe McDonald rounding out the podium for the AM category in 14th. Brian Holmes comes home in 15th, the number 58. And behind him was Mikey Key in 16th. Jeroen Ursum, the golden wheel boy, in 17th, and Roy Ververke in 18th. For Automech Knock Hill. 19th was David Ayres, Nick McCarran in 20th. Sari Rizzo was 21st, Scott Malcolm 22nd. 23rd was Dave Hampson, Anthony Ainsworth in 24th. 25th was Pete Van Gool. The final ones of your finishers, so to speak, was Carl Jacquelet, and then the rest of the grid was Vincent Halley, Carl Hardy, Dave Christie, Ryan Walker, Jack Ashton, Billy Rose, and Luke Cooper.
Thanks very much, Tom. And for the second time tonight, I believe Alex will be very excited to get the reverse grid wheel back out.
Indeed. Trying to get my mouse over to the scenes. There we go. Just wouldn't budge. So, right. So, second time. Be some predictions in 15, 30. There we go. Either of those are going to come true. We're close to 30. 35 is going to be.
Okay, well, I eat my words from earlier. Carl Jacquelet is actually classified 2 laps down now, somehow. I don't know how that changed after the race, but he is 2 laps down on here. That would mean Pete Van Gool, for all of his hard work getting that car on the track, will start on pole for race 3. Anthony Ainsworth joins him on the front row. Dave Hampson is really quick as well. He's going to be 3rd on the grid alongside Scott Malcolm and Cesare Rizzo and his his stablemate Nick McHerron will be 6th on the grid. So good mix of talent up there, Tom. Should be an interesting one. Who do you reckon we should keep an eye on for that one? Do you reckon Peter Van Gool could do it?
Yeah, I think he could. We know how quick he can be. Yeah, I don't really see a massive reason why he couldn't do it, but we obviously don't know. We're not sure what the conditions are going to be for race 3 yet, but I'm sure you guys are. Going to be back in a few.
Certainly will be. So don't forget, join me, Tom, and Alex in 10 to 15 minutes time, and we'll have race 3 or 4 for the evening from Imola in the BSR MX5 Winter Series. Don't go away.
Punch it. Great job, you did really well.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lead to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Looks to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
I'm trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Venner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network for the third of 4 races tonight in the BSR MX5 Winter Series from Imola. I'm Charles Draycott with Tom Jacobs alongside me, Alex Simpson on the cameras as always. And instantly, by looking at the session, Tom, we've got much cooler conditions for this third race.
Yeah, so we should have a lot more grip out there. Should be interesting to see how the guys fare with the change of conditions. They're starting to grid up as we speak. So yeah, I think it could make for an interesting race with a difference from what it was in race 2.
And of course, it may be a bit safer for them in terms of conditions. We saw a couple of guys struggling early on and towards the end of the second race. So it can change things up quite a lot. As the guys take to the grid now, as you say, we've got Pete Van Gool on pole position for SimLab Racing. So if he can make a good getaway and keep it out front, then he should be in chance with an easy win. He's followed by Anthony Ainsworth, Dave Hampson, Scott Malcolm, Cesare Rizzo, Nick McKerran, Dave Ayres, Roy Ververke, Jeroen Urson, Mikey Key, Brian Holmes, Joe McDonald, Marcelo Panion, James McRitchie, Kip Stevens, Jamie Ayres, Steve Hefford, Ashley Beard, race 1 winner, Jack McIntyre, Alex Cherney, Benjamin Mears, Alan McCain, Max Wright, Jason Cooper, Adam McNally, our race 2 winner, Carl Jackalette, Vincent Halley, Carl Hardy, Ryan Walker, Jack Ashton, Billy Rose, and Luke Cooper lines up 32nd on the grid. And the revs are rising, which can only mean one thing, and there they are. The lights are coming on. And for the third time tonight, we are away. Really good launch by Van Gool. Look at that. The car barely even leant back. It just went, completely went. And hopefully, Tom, he can keep that up for this entire race as the field bunches up behind him.
Yeah, hopefully he can. We know how quick Van Gool can be. Ainsworth currently leading the AM race. Quite a good start from him. He's got Hampson up the inside, though. Hampson will be hungry to follow Van Gool and take that race win. Looking at Brian Holmes now. He's got Mr. Ayres in front of him. Oh, we've got Ainsworth off, and he's hit Hampson as well. Not sure what happened there. Bit of contact between them, I should think. They're both riding on the grass. But as you see in your distance, Van Gool now streaming away. Behind him now he's got Cesare Rizzo and Scott Malcolm for a bit of company. Brian Holmes up into 8th place as they come into the hairpin. But apart from that, oh no, that's not what we wanted, and he nearly got through. And Holmes is falling down the order as well. So not sure what happened there. You see Holmes in the background. So a bit of contact so far, Chaz, and it's shaping up to be an interesting race already. We haven't even finished lap 1 yet.
I think they're just a bit overconfident with these cooler conditions, just chucking it about a bit much. I think Hampson and Ainsworth were quite close going into the first chicane anyway, so real shame to see them both losing out from that. Look at that train of cars there. Here's James McRitchie down the inside of Jamie Ayres, really sticking it to these pro boys. There's going to be contact there. How they didn't get turned around, I don't know. Ayres loose on the exit. He's got Hefford behind him. There's an absolute gaggle of Swift Cooper Esports and Excite cars, as there always is, chasing them down. Great view of the chicane there as they hop over the curbs. Marcelo Panion is 7th at the moment. He's got to be in with a shout of a win here, surely. He's always quick. But Stevens now with McRitchie behind him. Scott Malcolm leading the AM category 3rd overall now, Tom, because of that accident between Ainsworth and McRitchie.
Yeah, it will be
Hampson. It's Hampson, sorry.
Yeah.
2 different brands of food, so I get them confused. Nick McKerran, whoa, I don't know what's happening there. I think he got slowed down, but Cherney, or no, again I've got it wrong. Panion only just misses him there.
Yeah, so I think it's right what you say, Chaz. I think the guys are getting a little bit overconfident in these cooler conditions. McKerran looks like he might even have a slowdown after that. Didn't get away too quickly, although he didn't get the best run. And it looks to me that he has. He's darting about all over the place, trying to get out of the way of his teammates, which he does so finally in the end. But McRitchie then really putting the pressure on the SimLab guys in front. Hefford and Ayres, and he's got McKerran behind him as well, and McIntyre. And you've got Cherney for Swift Cooper Esports in with him as well. So McRitchie, hashtag McRitchie for pro, he's really going to have to show his worth now. He's coming up, he's fighting with the big boys in the midfield. But as you say, Chaz, Malcolm currently running P3 and leading the AM category as well. So he'll be looking to make inroads after his issue in race 2.
And there's the reverse grid wheel guru himself, Jeroen Urson, on the outside, if I can get his name right. Falling down a little bit there. I think he might have had a slowdown from a previous corner as well. It seems like he's actually just pulling over. I'm not really sure what's gone on there. But Kip Stevens now down the inside of Dave Ayres. Jamie Ayres goes with him as well. And 2 pro drivers. They were scrapping in race 1 and now they're scrapping in race 3. So fate has brought them back together. And they're on our screens once again. Ayres a bit later on the brakes there. Look at the run that he's got off the corner. Really, really good run. As they go into the chicane, though, this could get very feisty. He's got a little bit of speed over Kip Stevens there. Have to see who's later on the brakes. Yeah, Kip brakes early, plays it safe, lets Ayres go in front. And he's going to try and put on an attack as they come out of there as well. But Ayres has actually gained a couple of tenths on him there. You can see in the bottom right of your screen. So he's done a good job. There's the cat back. Doesn't look as big as it sounds, though. Great view back, though, from these cars. You can see them squirming around on the brakes. Great battle in the background as well as some of the guys try and get past David Ayres. There's some Excite cars in there as well. Stevens all over the curbs. Jamie Ayres giving everything he's got. And we're going to lap 3 already, Tom, with Van Gool still in the lead.
Yeah, he's just putting a 2:03.6, which was about a second and a half faster than Rizzo and Malcolm could manage. Hampson moves into P3 ahead of Scott Malcolm on the timing screens. We look at Jamie Ayres, though, Chaz. He's up 9 places already, and we've only just started lap 3. So he's having a sterling drive so far. But your biggest mover and shaker so far is Jack Ashton down in P19. He's up 11 places from the start, so he's having a really good drive as well. I've got McDonald falling down the order on my timing screen, so I'm not too sure what's happened to him. But I'm sure we'll find out shortly. But yeah, Jamie Ayres currently running in P7, and Stevens isn't really. He's keeping with him, but he's not making inroads at the moment to try and get the position done. I think he might be biding his time, just keeping the pressure on the guys in the background. McRitchie and McIntyre really going hammer and fist at it. Look a bit further back, you've got McCain in there with Ashton and McCarran. Hefford in there as well, and Hefford will be looking to make inroads. We know how quick he can be. He's one of the quickest guys out there, and now he's got Mr. Cooper and Mr. McNally in his sights. McNally already a race win this evening, so looks like there might have been a bit of tyre smoke in the background there, Chaz. Not sure who that was. Did you catch a glimpse of that?
I'm not quite sure it was that went off. No. Maybe a bit of a slide through one of the corners, but yeah, I can't see anyone dropping down the order, so we seem to be safe. But Jason Cooper's got McNally and Hefford behind him now, as he said. Really, really fierce battle between these guys. 3 of the quickest guys out there. They're always gaining places. Look at that, all 4 wheels off the ground on both curbs for Jason Cooper. I bet that was good fun. McNally didn't get much of a run out of there now, and Hefford is onto the back of him. Just an update on Peter Van Gool, who is running away with this. He's nearly 4.5 seconds ahead of Cesare Rizzo just then, but he's lost a couple of tenths in the last few corners. Hefford down the inside of McNally, late on the brakes, nicely done. McNally's going to look for a bit of a cutback though, doesn't quite get it. Steve Hefford controlling it there, up to 14th place. Bit wide on the exit, but that might have helped his run down the straight. We'll have to see whether McNally can do something with, get your shots out, slipstream. See whether he can do anything. The green lights are glowing bright, really bright. Nice little bloom effect on them. Fastest lap of the race for Ashley Beard, race 1 winner. Side by side into turn 1 then. McNally on the outside, Tom Hefford on the inside. Who's going to get this one, do you reckon?
It's going to be an interesting one. Hefford goes in very deep, but manages to keep the car controlled. And the guy's really fighting hard at the moment. McNally is all over the back of him, and it just goes to show they might be friends off the track, but on the track they really are fierce rivals, especially with the teams as well. SimLab, Swift Cooper Esports and Excite really are rivals on track. Jack Ashton giving Alan McCain a real hard time, and he's going to go round the outside in the background. Looks like he might get that one done. He doesn't quite get it. He's off on the grass, and he manages to hold it. A great save there. As we look forward, Panion, Rizzo, Hampson all together. And Panion looks to be, as you say, Chaz, he could be on for a race win here. Although saying that, Pete Van Gool now 4.8 seconds ahead of everyone else. And that's going to be a really tough gap for Panion to make up, isn't it?
Especially if Hampson tries to fight with him, it certainly will be. Viverke has taken Scott Malcolm in the AM battle as well. And they've got a right train behind them now, led by Jamie Ayres. So Scott's going to... he's probably going to play it safe here, is Scott. He's got his wits about him. McRitchie is in there as well, so he doesn't want to let McRitchie through, but he wants to try and let these pro guys go. I suppose we could count McRitchie as a pro, really, couldn't we? He's that quick. Jamie Ayres is going to go down the inside into the double left-hander. Nicely done. Cherney and McRitchie as they go onto the straight. Nearly running him out of room there, side by side, as they go across the line. But Marcelo Panion, who we saw a minute ago, will start to make inroads on Pete Van Gool. He's been really quick this season, although he's lost a place to Dave Hampson here. Dave Hampson's just gone into second. Panion gets it back. 3 wide, then into turn 1 once again between Beard, Cherney and McRitchie. McRitchie on the outside survives. Malcolm defending from Stevens as well. What a great scrap this is. Every time it shifts one way, it goes back the other because of the momentum of this track. And McIntyre's getting involved now as well, Tom. This is an all-star shootout here.
It really is. It's like a WrestleMania out there at the moment. It really is an all-star shootout, as you say. Malcolm takes the inside line. He's playing it well. He knows the amount of drivers he's got round him. McRitchie then moves up into P2 in AM. All come round the hairpin. Whoa! You got Cherney there getting massively out of shape. Nicely held from him. But yeah, what a great battle this is. Coming down the straight now under the footbridge, and then down hard on the brakes. That looks to be Cesare Rizzo, Chaz, off on the infield. Not sure what's happened to him. He stopped the car. There seems to be a lot of damage on the front left, and he's gone back to the pit lane. I'm sure we'll get a replay. Here we go then. Behind Dave Hampson, hard on the brakes, coming into the hairpin. Round it goes. Yeah, he might do. Pushes it out very wide. It starts to go there, I think, and then bang. Yeah, and that was the end of that. That's probably broken a wishbone and a shock and all manner of other things under there, essential to the car. So unfortunate for Cesare Rizzo, because he was having quite a good drive before that that happened. They're all hopping over the curbs. Malcolm's still holding his own though, Chaz, against McIntyre, and he's got Cooper for company soon as well. But for an AM driver, not to play them down, but that's why we have categories. He really is defending well out there at the moment.
Yeah, he's defending on the inside of McIntyre right now into the second of these left-handers. Plays it safe though. I think he just lets him have it there because he knows that he's got a podium in AM quite safe here, because Kyle Hardy is 19th overall, so he's got 10 places all the way back. Once again, Excite Energy Esports cars culminating together. That's Adam McNally and Ryan Walker in the back of the shot there. Jason Cooper trying to dispatch of Scott Malcolm now. Obviously both these guys fans of the colour yellow as they go into turn 1. Just behind them as well, Steve Hefford is having a good go at Ashley Beard. Oh wow, Adam McNally giving it full rallycross there. Steve Hefford's late on the brakes. He's going to cut the corner. Scott Malcolm does well to avoid. Oh, really, really sketchy stuff there. Held my breath a little bit. Adam McNally chucking it around. Steve Hefford going deep into the chicane. It was all a bit messy, but Jason Cooper's chasing down Jack McIntyre, as we see here, as someone's gone on a Paris-Dakar route through that chicane. Some good, some sort of good long length battles here, actually, Tom. I mean, it's going on over the course of the race, and Hampson really showing Panion the door at the moment. Actually, he's holding him back.
Yeah, he is, and this is great for Van Gool. They've made up about 3/10 on him up at front. You can just see him at the top of your screens there. But Hampson really is putting the fight to Panion, and I really didn't think that would happen. Not to say anything about Hampson, but we know how quick Marcelo Panion can be in the number 40 machine. So yeah, it's an interesting one. This Hampson really showing he's got that fighting spirit. They come down towards the chicane now on lap 6 of 8. There's not that much longer to go, and Pete Van Gool maintaining that 4.5 to 5 second gap all the time. And it really is good for him. Sorry, that they're having such a battle out there. We come down towards the hill in the braking zone. Is Panion going to stick up the inside? He has a little look. He does a Valtteri Bottas and just has a look, but doesn't quite get past Bahrain 2018 for anyone who gets that. But he doesn't quite make it stick. So I think this is going to face up to be a real fierce battle, Chaz.
Yeah, it really is. The closer they get to the end, the more desperate they're going to get to gain the place. Van Gool does his personal best, 2:03.9, so he's definitely on the pace. Hampson does his personal best as well. Marcelo Panion does not. So he's really up against it now, as Panion, with these guys setting fastest laps of their races. Stevens here going past Ververke for 5th. He's still chasing down Jamie Ayres, car 4, position 4. Into turn 1 side by side. Ververke's not going to take this lying down though. He's defending the place, he's giving it everything he's got. He is quick, is Roy. He's been really a standout performer in series like the Club Series previously. No one expected him in Season 3 to be up there fighting for the title, but come the final round, he was 3rd in the championship. He's doing a fantastic job. Drops down behind McRitchie now, but this is just the nature of it really, isn't it, Tom? When you're an AM, you've got to play it safe and just let the pro guys go. But, well, that's McRitchie into the lead of AM, actually, isn't it? He's not in the pro category. We may think it, but, yeah, he's classified as an AM, so McRitchie takes the AM lead, and now he's got 2 places on Ververke already.
Yeah, we know how quick McRitchie is as an AM driver. I think he's the top of that class at the moment. I mean, he sticks it to the pro guys. He's chasing down the likes of Stevens, Ayres, and I don't know. Well, he won't get up to Panion with only 2 laps to go, but it just goes to show how quick he is and how quickly he's come up, and he's really got to grips with the car. So, honestly, fair play to him. He's been my driver of the day several times throughout this season, and he just goes to show, you know, anyone can come into a series, and he's the plucky underdog. Really, he was at the start, and now he's really, as I say, showing how quick he can be as they come. And he takes that very tight low coming off the chicane. I don't know whether he might get a slowdown for that. It was incredibly tight, but he looks to have got away with it. He's banging the slipstream now of Kip Stevens. I think he'll be a bit too far away this time as they come down the hill, hard onto the brakes, coming into the last 2 corners. I've noticed there's something actually, Chaz. A lot of people, there's 2 different lines through there. People seem to push it out wide or try and keep it on the in-road to try and get a better run. It's a bit like the Top Gear test track when the F1 drivers come down and they start talking about different lines into turn 1.
You're right. You are right. They do sometimes take a wider entrance and then get a good exit from it, as we see Panion nice and cleanly go down the inside of Hampson into turn 1 there. Taking 2nd place. Still nearly 5 seconds ahead of them is Peter Van Gool, though. So he's got a very convincing lead at the moment. It's good for him, though, because he had a bit of a poor race 1. But here we go. Hampson, well, you can see him not trying to cut the corner, but trying to take every bit he can. Panion making the most of his incident points and going off into the gravel a little bit there. But Marcelo's been great since he came into the series, really quick, and straight out of the bat he was just all at the front, and he just maximum attack constantly. And speaking of, is Kip Stevens having a go at James McRitchie? This battle is just never ending. I actually think that was McRitchie getting past him, and now he's giving it to Jamie Ayres as well. So McRitchie for pro, well, I don't think Jamie Ayres is going to promote him if he does that. Either that, or he will be quicker to promote him and say, go on then. Oh, no. Well, he's not going to be Jamie Ayres, series organiser. James McRitchie's not going to be on his good list at the moment. As down the inside of Jason Cooper goes Ayres. There's contact, and Cooper's around. Don't think that was completely on. I think Ayres really had nowhere to go, though, to be honest. I think he might have just run wide. Real shame for it to happen, but it does happen. We see it a lot. But look at the AM top 3 now. McRitchie 5th, Verke 7th. And what was I saying before about Scott Malcolm?
Yeah, he's
26th.
Yeah, he's dropped right down the order. I'm not sure what's happened to Paul Scott out there, actually. But unfortunate for him. But we come towards the end then. A brilliant drive there for Pete Van Gool. Simlab Racing, your race 3 winner. Absolutely bob on, did everything he needed to, and we called it at the start, and that's what he got. Panion does take P2 ahead of Mr. Dave Hampson. That was a very close fought battle between them. 500ths of a second between them. McIntyre and McRitchie to the line. They touch as they cross the line. 5,000ths of a second between those guys. And then you've got the rest of the train coming over the line now. Go on, Chaz.
I think McRitchie, I've just heard him in the in-race chat. I think he's just shouted really loud there because I think that contact was just before the line, and I think he got disqualified.
Oh dear.
I'm not sure whether it's... I'm still waiting to see.
He's out the car. And he's on the timing screens, he's out the car as well.
Yeah. We'll have to... Yeah, I'm just having a look now. Here we go. We'll see whether it happened just before the line or not, because that's the important bit. If it happened after the line when he was classified, it doesn't make that much difference. I think, look at that. He has Kip Stevens off well and truly there. He doesn't sound too happy on the in-race chat. I understand you boys can't hear that, but here we go then. Jack McIntyre got a brilliant run. Alongside he goes. I think he just tries to make the track as short as possible. He starts to come over to the right, but McRitchie just stays dead straight. Ooh. Oh, it was just after the line, I think. I think he might have got away with that. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, he's down in 26th on the timing screens now, though, which is interesting. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. And Alex, your opinion? What do you think on that one?
It looked after, but I think it's a disqualification. No, yeah, a bit harsh, you know.
Yeah, there's a bit of a disagreement in the in-race chat currently as to what's
I
going
mean,
on.
I think if you know you're on an NX, I mean, I appreciate some people run on a single monitors and they can't see how close the person is. You've got to give room. You've got to give loads of room, and you've got to expect the worst, I think. But yeah, I can understand why he would be seriously cheesed off right now.
And in regards to the first lap incident between Dave Hampson and Anthony Ainsworth, Dave has actually written an apology in the in-race chat as well, so I think it might have been him that made the move that caused it. But yeah, that contact to the end, real unfortunate for James there. It seems there was a bit of a disagreement between him and a couple of drivers in there. We saw him getting his elbows out a little bit in that race with Jamie Ayres, so I'll leave them to that. But what a brilliant race we saw, Tom, as we have the results in front of us now.
Yeah, so Pete Van Gool, SimLab Racing is your race 3 winner. Fantastic drive from him. Behind him, Marcelo Pagnon finishes P2, and then Dave Hampson in third rounds out the podium. Jack McIntyre in P4, Kip Stevens in P5. Roy Viverke very much up the top. A nice drive for him for the Automet Knock Hill. Takes your AM race win in P6. Jamie Ayres P7, Steve Hefford P8, Ryan Walker in P9, and then rounding out the top 10 was Alex Cherney. So you've got some quick drivers in there for the reverse grid. Ashley Beard in P11, Jack Ashton P12 with Alan McCain in P13. Jason Cooper finishes 14th overall. Nick McCarron in 15th, Brian Holmes in 16th, and then Adam McNally, he's down there in 17th, so we're looking to come back from that. Carl Jacquelet finishes P2 in AM, and a nice drive for him in the yellow banana. Carl Hardy in P19 for Result Clothing, Max Wright in P20, your own Urson P21. 22nd was Joe McDonald, and then Benjamin Meus in 23rd, Billy Rose in 24th. Scott Malcolm eventually finished 25th, not sure what happened to him at the end. James Ritchie in a very controversial position in 26th. And your non-finishers were Anthony Ainsworth, Cesare Rizzo, David Ayres, Luke Cooper, Vincent Halley, and Mikey Key.
Thanks very much, Tom. And, well, controversy aside, another great race for the series. Another great race for these guys. It was very enjoyable to watch, as always. And for the third and final time tonight, to line us up for what I hope is going to be a race under lights, which will be very interesting at Monza. Well, it would be interesting at Monza, but we're at Imola. Alex Simpson should have the reverse grid wheel.
Indeed, I do. Same situation. Need to get a mouse. Definitely feel. Right. Of course, when the mouse comes on screen, it works fine, but the wheel is spinning.
Your own wants 21.
Oh, there's 20. There's -1, and that's what it is. It's a full -1.
And, well, you couldn't write this. That would have meant James McRitchie on pole, but the -1 means Scott Malcolm takes pole position. Billy Rose will be second. Benjamin Meus third on the grid with Joe McDonald fourth. And Jeroen Ursum himself will benefit from it quite well, actually. He is going to be fifth on the grid. So, for the final time tonight, you can join me, Alex, and Tom in about 10-15 minutes' time for the fourth of 4 races tonight on the iRacing Esports Network. Do not go away.
Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher Demerit at the line.
We're almost out of fuel. You'll have to come in for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
Assist to the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Look to the outside as Kroenke goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's Howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
coach here of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Would it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and the BSR MX5 Winter Series for the fourth and final race tonight of the MX5 Winter Series. I'm Chaz Draycott alongside Tom Jacobs and Alex Simpson on the cameras, and we've got a 31 car grid for this final race. Tom, even cooler conditions than last time, so might restore a bit more confidence in these guys for this last one.
Yeah, it might do, mightn't it? I think it'll be an interesting one for them at night. Scott Malcolm is on pole, behind him Billy Rose, Benjamin Mews, Joke McDonald, Jeroen Urson, Max Wright, Carl Hardy, Carl Jackalette, Adam McNally, Brian Holmes, Nick McCarran, Jason Cooper, Alan McCain, Jack Ashton, Ashley Beard, Alex Cherney, Ryan Walker, Steve Hefford, Jamie Ayres and Roy Viverke rounds out the top 20. You see the rest of the guys just scrolling through your screen there. As we get ready, the revs seem to be building. They're revving them all up, getting them ready to go, and I think it's going to be an interesting one. The lights are lighting up now. The lights are beginning to come on. The revs rise, and they drop the clutches, and away they go. Not the best start from Malcolm. Billy Rose even got quite a good start there coming off the line. He's currently leading the AM race, and he's got a nice 4 places from Max Wright, who's the second pro driver. So he's in a sea of AMs at the moment. Scott Malcolm coming into turn 1, where the old famous Tamburello used to be. As they now round themselves round the corner. It's a bit of a weird, that was poor English from myself there. Everything be through nice and cleanly. No real incidents as they come into the second chicane. And everyone through nice and tidy there, Chaz. And a little bit of a step out. I think that was Jeroen Urson actually got a little bit hasty, but yeah, altogether everyone through nice and cleanly.
Yeah, we've got, speaking of Jeroen Urson, he's gone off and wide. Oh, there's 2 Excite cars around. They do things in packs. Kip Stevens around as well. James McRitchie's involved. Honestly, these Excite boys don't do things one at a time, do they? Just don't do things one at a time. They even spin off in unison as Billy Rose goes to the front for the Northern Lights Racing. Craig Evans will be having an absolute fit at home watching this. Benjamin Mears is up there as well, trying to take the AM lead from Scott Malcolm. He does just that round outside. Those two used to be...
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's racing motocross or MX5s at the moment, bless him. Moves, he's falling down on the timing sheets, but he's down in P18 now. Even further down, he's got Ryan Walker and Marcelo Pagnon and Jack McIntyre for company as well, so what a place to rejoin for himself as we look at Scott Malcolm rounding out lap 1. Through they go. Carl Jackalette, we've got an incident in the background I've just heard. Not sure who that is. I'm not really seen anyone falling down the order there, Chaz, so it might have just been a little love tap.
Oh, McCain.
McCain. Yeah, there we go. McCain now down into P20 on the timing screens. Unfortunate for him. But Billy Rose currently leading the race ahead of Benjamin Mews and Scott Malcolm. But Max Wright having a little look up the inside of Scott Malcolm. Coming into turn 1 and turn 2. And it's a nice even spread out field now, Chaz. We seem to have a pack up the front here of 6 cars, and a little bit further back you've got all the pro guys who are coming down on them like a jet fighter hunting down its prey at the moment. So I'm sure they'll catch up to them, and I think we'll get some exciting racing about halfway through the race.
Yeah, it's just time for the field to filter out. People get their battles underway and go from there. Scott Malcolm putting on a right old defence here with Max Wright behind him. as they climb back up the hill. Nick McCarron just went flying down the order a moment ago with Cesare Rizzo. I'm not quite sure what happened there. There's a right, beautiful move down the inside of Malcolm. Scott playing it nice and safe. As there's Hampson down the inside of Jason Cooper side by side. Cooper takes slightly evasive action, to say the least, as he runs wide. Another battle further down. This is David Ayres chasing down Jeroen Urson with not Alan McCain. It is Alan McCain. I do apologise. I was thinking of the guy from that game that I mentioned ages ago. He's still chasing him down. Lights ablaze. They go towards the chicane. And I tell you what, when you can't quite see the apex as well, I bet it's quite daunting, the chicane. Max Wright does miss the first one there, but gets it all together for the second part. Hits the curb. Not the best run on the exit, but this is a great train behind him there. Scott Malcolm in the yellow team mad car. Carl Jacquelet showing him that you can get a brighter shade of yellow than just yellow, as he chases him down. And Joe McDonald doing his bit with a bright yellow roll cage. McNally and Cherney having a good battle behind them as well. Brake discs glowing, looks fantastic into the left-hander. But Billy Rose still out front there for Northern Lights Racing, doing a great job. He's flying the flag solo for the team, as Craig Evans said last week at Suzuka. And he's doing a fine old job of it as well in the 444 machine. But Benjamin Mears leading the AM category at the moment. Then he's got, well, Joe McDonald is just inspecting the rear end of Scott Malcolm's car currently, just to make sure that it is definitely yellow. And he's going to find out that it certainly is. But he'll also see that his brake lights are red as well if he doesn't get too close. Adam McNally then has dispatched of Cherney, or at least defended the position. Jamie Ayres trying to get involved, Ashley Beard. Then you've got Jason Cooper as well, Dave Hampson. So a real good train of pros here, Tom, that you mentioned before. They're coming through now.
Yeah, and it's going to be, we're really going to put their skill to the test.
Oh, no.
Oh, McNally's round nearly went into the back of Jacquelet. Had to take evasive action on the brakes. I think he's got away with it. It was only a spin. Didn't really cause any damage to the car, but that's unfortunate for him. I just don't think he anticipated Jacquelet being where he was and at the speed he was doing in the middle of that corner. Had to brake hard while turning, and well, any car on iRacing, any car on any race will do that if you're braking and turning that hard at the same time. Ashley Beard goes up the inside of Jamie Ayres. Jamie Ayres holding 9th place. He was the fastest lapping car last time round. I don't think he'll be as quick this time because he's in a lot of battles, but even with a damaged car, he's putting in some decent lap times. And he'll be looking to try and make his way up. He's got, as I say, he's got Cherney, Beard to get through, and then he's got the AM drivers of Malcolm, McDonald and Jacquelet. But Benjamin Mears at the moment still leading the way in the AM category, and I've been doing a fine job of it as well. He's got half a second at the moment over Billy Rose. So yeah, a nice drive for him, Charles. We've not seen too many incidents apart from that little one at the start, but here we go then. Jamie Ayres, is he going to have a little look at Ashley Beard? Ashley Beard has to, whoa, really late on the brakes. Oh, who is that? Joe McDonald falling down the order in the 307 machine. Let's have a little look back. Yeah, Hampson as well. Joe McDonald. Let's have a look back at the replay. Hard on the anchors then. I think he got touched, but I think that was more netco than anything really from Jacquelet.
Oh,
and he got clipped as well. I think it was Hampson clipped as well, didn't he? So unfortunate for him there. Here we go then, starting halfway through the race. Yeah.
Just came into shot, drifted in, hit him, and off he went. And Billy Rose has lost the lead, I've just noticed. Mears has gone to the front, actually, sorry.
Yeah, possibly Rose has made a little bit of a mistake, or it might have just been a slipstream situation. And I think it's anyone's guess at the moment. Here we go then, back to the replay. Alex in fantastic work, sorry, in the with the replay cameras for us. Mears has a, wow, what a dive. Whoa, really brave on the brakes there in the number 13 machine. Unlucky for some, but not for him. And through he goes into the lead. So this one, Chaz, really shaping up to be an interesting race.
That was amazing. That's blown me away. That fantastic stuff by Ben Mears. We've seen he's got a lot of experience in this MX5 and he's good at chucking it about, but wow, that was fantastic. Ryan Walker's dropping down the order now, unfortunately. Our Apex colleague. Not sure whether he's got to slow down. That car looks damaged to me. It's not in the best of shape. This is a real scrap here, though. Ashley Beard, Carl Jacquelet, Jamie Ayres, bit of contact, brake discs glowing. Jamie Ayres is going to benefit from that if he doesn't drive into the side of Jacquelet anyway. It's not like that car's camouflaged. They're just rubbing side by side down the straight. They're really tempting fate here going into the chicane. Both on the brakes at the same time. Jacquelet turns in. He's defending it really well. Hits the curb. Keeps the place, Tom. Fantastic defending by Jacquelet. Really giving it to the pro boys now. Jamie Ayres trying to get stuck in there. He got a really good run out of there. And Jason Cooper, well, I don't know whether he's going to make it 3 wide or not. No, I don't think he's going to. Plays it safe. Watches the fireworks, and the fireworks are provided by the brake discs. Look at him go down there. Looks brilliant. Jamie Ayres really sideways on the grass, trying to get it all collected. Manages to do so, and he gets a good run out of the final corner as a benefit from it. And now Jason Cooper is sharing his passion of bright yellow with Carl Jacquelet.
I think you like the colour yellow, don't you, Chaz? You've mentioned it a few times.
Yeah.
Going down the back straight then, Jacquelet and Jason Cooper, they'll be trading places. Unfortunate for Ryan Walker, he did retire, or he's towed the car back to the pits after that one. It's unfortunate for Ryan. We know how quick he's been this evening.
Oh,
Coming into
no!
the chicane. Oh!
The banana!
The banana has gone. The banana has been peeled, and round it goes.
Marcelo
That
Pagnon,
looked
I
like
think.
a brake failure to me coming in from the rear. Chaz, it came in so hot, the Swift Cooper car. I'm not sure who it was.
It was Pagnon. He got turned, I think. I think he got turned around by someone he was fighting with. I think he was on the inside, and just as he washed out to the outside on the brakes, I think he just got a tiny catch on the right rear, and it spun him across into the right rear of Jacquelet, hard enough to spin the car 360 degrees. And like you say, banana very much peeled. Marcelo is showing his disgruntledness, if that's even a word, in the iRacing chat. And Jason Cooper there having a good scrap with Ashley Beard now. But look at these guys, they're not very spaced out compared to the last few races we've had. And Alex Cherney is now up to second, Tom. So with 3 laps to go, you've got to think that the Swift Cooper Esports driver could be in with a shout of getting him a win here.
Yeah, he could be. It's going to be an interesting one at the end, but don't underestimate Billy Rose. He is a quick driver, as you say, flying the flag for Northern Lights this evening and putting on a really good show. He's still in P3, still holding the podium. Benjamin Mears, though, he's doing a fine, sterling job against some really fast pro drivers, but he's got the likes of Jamie Ayres, Jason Cooper, Ashley Beard, Steve Hefford, and Jack McIntyre, and Adam McNally coming up on him as well, and they're coming up at a rapid rate of knots. So it's going to be difficult for him to. I think he'll definitely, Benjamin Mears, get the AM race win. I don't want to commentators curse him, but I think holding a podium is going to be an all different ball game for him as they come over the line then to start lap 6 of 8. Cherney out in front from Benjamin Mears, Billy Rose, Max Wright, and Jamie Ayres rounds out your top 5. And I think Billy Rose might try and put it 3 wide here. He gets the door shade, does nearly put it 3 wide. As they come into turn number 1. Alex Cherney up the inside. Mears around the outside there. Really showing his worth in that AM car. The number 13 Automech Knock Hill car. The brake disc must be, wow. You could light a cigarette off it at the moment. Looks like they're going to nearly go 4 wide. Coming into the second chicane. Mears way out wide there, though, going into there. I think he outbraked himself a little bit, and Jamie Ayres is off. Unfortunate for him. I think that was just a slight mistake. I don't think there was much contact in it. And then we've got Billy Rose now, who's also takes to the grass, but he manages to hold it. The car doesn't come round on him, and I've got to say it, Chaz, this is proving to be an epic, epic battle.
Yeah, this is great stuff by these guys. Really close racing together, and no contact as such yet, as we see McIntyre and Ashton having, well, they're showing their hatred of purple right now as they seem to have come together. Ashton's got a very broken car. That thing's not going straight in any sense of the word. Jason Cooper there side by side with Jamie Ayres now. Oh, nearly a bit of a hip check into the double right-hander. Nicely done on the brakes. Fantastic to see the brake discs glowing on these MX-5s in so many places on this track tonight. Some really good camera angles on this one. But yeah, Mears, for me, been a standout performer so far. He's really chucking it around with the pro guys, and he's defending for all his worth. That defence around the outside of turn 1 was absolutely great. I know Cherney got the move done afterwards, but either way, it's pro versus am, and yeah, Mears is really, like you say, showing his worth at the moment. He's doing a great job. But Billy Rose and Max Wright as well, you've got to give it to them guys. They may be in pro category as well, but they're really doing a top job up there as it stands. There's a good turnout for a lot of these guys in this one, to be honest. There's Ashley Beard and Jamie Ayres side by side. Ayres has got what I imagine is slightly compromised aero on that front left. He's just pushing Ashley Beard down the straight now. He's got his teammate Steve Hefford behind him. This could shape up quite nice into turn 1, Tom.
Yeah, I think it's going to, isn't it? As they're actually making contact. And there's a lot of Excite paint on the front of that SimLab car now. As they come towards turn 1. This is going to be an interesting one, isn't it? Ayres on the outside, Hefford on the inside, but he's got Beard in front of him. Oh, and they all managed to get through nice and safely. Beard, though, I think he might get a slowdown for that one. It was very, very tight on the inside line, and he went over the sausage curbs. But I think he's got away with it, to be honest with you, Jazz. They're going 3 wide again towards the hairpin. Headlights ablaze. Hefford up the inside. Sorry, it wasn't the hairpin. It was the chicane. I do apologise. got my bearings wrong. But here they come now down towards the hairpin. Round they go.
I think we
Hefford
just
on
lost
the
someone in the
outside.
background.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was, though. I've not seen anyone falling down my timing screen. Can't see anyone at the moment. As they're going 3 wide, near enough over the hill. This is proving to be a really fierce battle, isn't it? Beard up the inside of Hefford. Ayres thrown in there as well. Hefford has to go out wide to avoid any sort of contact. And he gets through nicely. Hefford's still on the inside. This is that's a brave line through there. They touch Hefford's round.
Whoa, McNally.
McNally just going in like a tomahawk missile. Thinking, I'll have a bit of this one as well, mate. And he goes as well. So, but McNally's managed to keep it on the track. And all the Excite boys back together, Chaz.
We've got all 4 of them nose to tail again. I don't know how they manage this, but they always do it on track. And they're going to be pestering me for pictures of this as well. Well, there we go. They are still managing to pull this off somehow. You've got Beard, Holmes, McNally and Ashton. Line stern. A real shame there, though, for Hefford. I think he just bounced it on the curbs as he came into the double right-hander and just sort of, I don't know, it just sort of floated out wide a little bit, didn't it? And then just that bit of contact as the weight transferred on the car as it got on the brakes, it loosened up the rear end, and all it took was a tiny touch from the rear end and it just went around. So, real shame for Steve there. I don't think there was a lot Ashley Beard could have done. He was just holding his line. He didn't want to go out too wide because if you're on the brakes on the grass there, it's going to spin, as we saw earlier on in the evening. But Alex Cherney does his personal best, so does Ben Mears. So those guys are working up a bit of a gap at the front then in the AM category for Mears and the Pro category for Cherney. Obviously overall race leader as well. Just ahead of these guys, we saw Ayres and McRitchie getting their elbows out. James McRitchie second in AM at the moment, but the Excite boys are fighting amongst themselves. McNally coming under pressure from Ashley Beard here, then Jack Ashton behind them. Brian Holmes is having a go at McRitchie as well. Brian Holmes had a really bad knee injury a couple of weeks ago and he's still out racing again. Oh, McRitchie's off, McNally's off. Oh, and there's now Beard's off as well. Ashton's down the inside. It's like rallycross for the Excite cars. They are actually involved with Oliver Bennett, the World Rallycross driver, of course, who is sponsored by Excite Energy as well. But I think they're taking his lessons a little bit too seriously here. Actually, they're all over the place.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Interesting times for them. The last thing they want is a bit of contact between them. McRitchie's in a Excite sandwich at the moment. Can't imagine that tastes very well, energy drink and biscuits, but there you go. He's out there with them. So Cherney coming down now. He's got a nice little lead over Benjamin Mears. And then you've got Max Wright, Jason Cooper with them as well. Jason Cooper's going to be looking to capitalise on this. They're coming down the straight. And it's all going to get a little bit argy-bargy as we come towards the end now. Cooper tips it out, has a little look. Hard late on the brakes. Is he going to go for Mears? He does go well up the inside, late on the brakes. What a move. 2 in 1 corner. Gets that done. And it looks to be that Cooper's going to go and take a 1-2 finish for Swift Cooper Esports. But Alex Cherney, nice sterling drive from him, pulled away from the pack behind him and made that one stick. Jason Cooper makes it a 1-2 for Swift Cooper Esports. Benjamin Mears, though, takes your AM race win in P3. Another sterling drive for him and Max Wright as well. Coming across the line, Holmes and Ayres, 6th and 7th respectively. And then McRitchie, Ashton, all the other guys coming across the line. And Chaz, what did you think to that?
Great finish to the race. Really exciting stuff as always. When it goes under lights, it just makes it that bit more interesting for us. It's harder to identify the cars visually. And of course for those guys, it's just that added bit of pressure really. There's less vision. And of course it's a bit more sort of, it heightens your senses a little bit because there's so many vivid colours going on around you in such close quarters. It's exciting for them to race it and it's exciting for us to watch, but really well-deserved win there for Alex Cherney. Jason Cooper making it a great 1-2 for the team. They really do deserve that because Swift Cooper, over the course of every meeting we've seen so far, even if they have a poor qualifying early on, they just have a great time as the evening progresses and they gradually work their way up to the front. And one of them does it either way. And they've just proved it again tonight. real good consistency from them. They have been caught up in a few incidents tonight, so maybe not a complete points haul as we see Jamie Ayres getting the back end of that MX5 out well and truly. But yeah, they've since they came into it, they've really proved themselves, and yeah, they're continuing to do so meeting after meeting. So really glad to see it.
It's great for them, isn't it? It's lovely to see. They're really taking it to the SimLab guys and the Excite guys, and that's what we want at the end of the day. Little shout out to Billy Rose as well, flying the flag for Northern Lights Racing. A nice sterling job for him in race 4. Finished P5 for the team as Journey. Well, is that the Acropolis Rally 2002 or is that MX5 2019? But no, it's yeah, Billy Rose. What a great drive for him, flying the flag for Northern Lights. They'll be delighted with that. So your final race results for the evening. Alex Cherney, brilliant drive for him, 3.3 seconds ahead of the rest of the guys. Finishes in first. Jason Cooper in P2, his teammate for Swift Cooper Esports 1-2. Benjamin Meus is your AM race winner. It's a nice sterling drive for him, nicely defended. Finishes in P3. Max Wright in P4. Billy Rose, as I said, another great drive in P5. Jamie Ayres in P6. Brian Holmes behind him in P7. Adam McNally in P8 and Jack Ashton in P9. James Ritchie finishes P2 in AM. And then Ashley Beard behind him in 11th. P12, Scott Malcolm rounds out the AM podium. So he'll be delighted with that. Roy Viverke in 13th. Steve Hefford 14th. Nick McCurran in 15th. Alan McCain in 16th. Pete Van Gool, your race 3 winner, finishes 17th. 18th was your own Ursum. That's all right, Alex. I've got it. Don't worry. Carl Jacquelet finishes 19th. Cesare Rizzo in 20th. David Ayres in 21st. Vincent Halley in 22nd. Jack McIntyre was one of your non-finishers, and the rest of them were Joe McDonald, Marcelo Panion, Ryan Walker, Luke Cooper, Anthony Ainsworth, Dave Hampson, Kyle Hardy, and Kip Stevens.
Cracking stuff. Thank you very much, as always, Tom. Really good race there to finish the night out with, and a very deserving winner in Alex Cherney. And just looking down the list, we have a couple of interviews lined up. Just before we do that, though, we do actually have a Mr. Mick Barry, who we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. He suffered a heart attack last weekend and obviously has not been able to race this evening. He did send a quick message over to me earlier, just asking if I could send a shout out to all the guys from BSR and all the guys at Apex for all the support and well wishes for him. He's completely humbled by the responses and kind words, and the idea of also from Brian Holmes and the Exit Energy Esports cars, they actually carried messages tonight on their car saying, "Get well soon, Mick." He says he's just blown away. He's completely choked up by it, and words can't express his gratitude. So obviously thank you to Mick as well for being such a great sport, and we do hope that he has a very speedy recovery. I'm sure we'll see him back on track soon. He's a very determined racer, isn't he, Tom? So I'm sure he'll be gunning to get back out already.
Yeah, he will be. So our thoughts go out to you, Mick. Really great guy. And we do look forward to seeing him out on track once again, which I'm sure, as Chaz says, you will be. So get well soon, mate, and we'll see you. We'll see you hopefully in a few rounds' time.
So to the start of the interviews for the evening, then we'll bring in the solo flag flying Billy Rose for Northern Lights Racing. Billy, that was a hectic final race. Really good scrap for the lead. How was that?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. That was I think I surprised myself a little bit taking the lead that early, and held it for a couple of laps, which was quite fun. But no, knew the battle was going to come forward towards me with them guys having the slipstream, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that. I thought that was another great last race for me. I managed 4th last week, so really enjoyed that. Really got stuck in. I think that's the main thing, and got some good points for the team.
And how was Imola in the MX5? Me and Tom once again were slightly sceptical of the track car combo, but it seemed to work quite well for the race, and it was quite intense.
Yeah, it was. It did surprise me as well. I've raced this track quite a lot. I do a lot of it on GT, and was going to see how the car was going to handle. But yeah, it was good fun. There was a couple of corners that the rear end wanted to step out a couple of times, but you just got to kind of take it as a slide and try and keep it going. The chicanes were interesting, but yeah, I think that was a good car combo. I'd love to see that again.
Definitely, and like you said, you seem to be a pro at these race 4 results at the moment. We come to that time of the week where Chaz doesn't know what track we're at next week, but for anyone that does know, it'd be much appreciated if we could find out, because I would ask you how you plan to get on, but I don't know where I'm asking you about, so I don't know. But in terms of, since you've come into the series, we noticed that obviously you've not been in it since the very beginning.
Nope.
but it's not the most recent. You're not like one of the most recent guys to start in it. Do you feel confident for when you go towards a race meeting though? I mean, is it something that you feel that you're going to do well at?
I have to say from because this is my first time doing league racing and with the team. And yeah, it was at first I was a little bit nervous at Brands Hatch, and now over time you just begin to build confidence in the car, and when you've got the right setup for yourself. Because honestly, this car you can share setups between teammates, but you'll find that everyone's completely different. But once you get that setup for yourself, yeah, you do go into some of the weekends quite confident, especially when you know the track. You feel that you can really give it some. I did know this track. Got a bit unlucky in the second and third race, but felt that I could really give it me all in that last race. Definitely. Looking forward to next week for sure.
And speaking of next week, Alex has informed me that it's Interlagos, which if you've watched broadcasts before, me and Tom lost our minds to some of the race finishes that have been there before. Literally, we're talking thousandths of a second between some of the finishes. And is that a track you tend to know?
I have raced it a little bit, not a huge amount, not like I have Imola and Monza tracks like that, but I do know that track very well. And I think with the MX5, it could definitely be some fun. I think turns 1 and 2 could throw up some interesting results. I think even going into turn 1 on lap 1, and also just that tricky midsection as well. I think that's really gonna hopefully promote some overtaking, and obviously you've got that very long straight, so. It'll be interesting to see what happens when we go there. But I'm again very excited, and hopefully another good fourth race for me there. Let's just hope for a good reverse grid.
Well, fingers crossed. We've seen that the get your shots out slipstream is one to be watched there.
Yes, definitely. I think, like I say, I think the slipstream down that sort of curving straight is definitely going to be interesting, and I think we're definitely going to see some maybe 3-4 wide going into turn 1, which I think I think it could get a little bit interesting, a bit tasty, but no, we'll see going into next week. Definitely going into it confident.
Well, we hope that you give me and Tom something to shout about. Might even get Alex to pipe up. So hopefully you do well next week, mate. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you go?
Northern Lights Racing, to be honest, they're giving me the opportunity to get in these leagues, and that it's the first time I've ever done it, and I've not missed a week and have thoroughly enjoyed it through the whole way through. Even when I haven't had teammates, it's been very good.
Smashing stuff, mate. Well, you're doing very well at it, so keep it
Thank
up,
you very
and
much.
We'll continue to keep an eye on how you do.
Awesome. Thank you.
Speak to you soon, mate.
Speak to you soon.
Billy Rose there. Lovely bloke, as it turns out. Well, not that I thought otherwise beforehand. Just to confirm there. Sorry, Billy. Right then, Tom, you've got a couple of guys to choose from here. Who do you reckon?
We'll go for Adam McNally, won't we? He's a regular.
Yeah.
We'll have him. Mr. Adam McNally.
All right.
Mr. Adam McNally joins us in the interview booth. Adam, great racing out there this evening, but you managed a race win. How did that feel?
Great. I haven't had one all season. It was good to eventually get the win. It's good for Ash to get the win race 1 as well. Put it on pole. Nice drive by him. But the night was very rough driving out there. I think it was a lot of elbows out, a lot of dives, a lot of running out wide. But it was a hard battle all night.
Yeah, we saw it from our end. It was interesting. You guys just sort of bunch up together, don't you? But Imola, a track you enjoy, or was it a bit sketchy?
I hate Imola, like absolutely hate it. Didn't look forward to it at all night, and I think I got spun out of top 10 3 times. It just summed up my night of how much I think of the track.
That must have been it must have been good though, getting the feeling for getting a race win here. But we noticed race 4 in the midfield. You guys had some. Well, it was just all you Excite boys together with a couple of SimLab racing thrown in there as well. So that must have been quite fun midfield battles out there.
Oh, like I said, it was just full elbows out all night. I mean, it was good racing, but it was hard and it would slow stuff up a bit, and you'd get run off wide a few times. Or sometimes you would return the field, not deliberately, just the corners are so tight, you try to get back on the power and you just run wide. And it's so easy to put someone on the gravel here. And then it causes carnage.
Yeah, we saw it a few times, didn't we? I think race 2 we had quite a big shunt. But we're off to, as Alex has told us, we're off to Interlagos next week. How are you feeling about that?
One of my favourite tracks. Proper looking forward to Interlagos. The last time we were at Interlagos, it was me and I think it was Jason Cooper. On the run to the line, he beat us by 1,000th of a second.
Yeah, it was.
I remember it. Yeah.
So really looking forward to that. Have some more good battles around there.
Happy days, mate. Well, congratulations on this evening. But before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to?
You guys for doing the broadcast. I'd like to give Mick a get well soon wish. Hopefully he's back racing with us again soon, because he does a lot of work behind the scenes, putting the sessions up and that. Racing mentor, times detailing, Excite Energy, Premature Baby Foundation, and that's it. Thanks.
Brilliant stuff, mate. Well, thanks for coming up to the interview booth, and we'll surely speak to you at Interlagos. Cheers, mate.
Right, thank you.
Adam McNally there, becoming a bit of a regular in the booth now. He is. I'll have to try and take a week off from him at some point, but he's such a nice bloke, we can't not speak to him. What I'm going to do is bring in someone that we've not actually spoken to in quite a while, Result Clothing driver David Ayres. David, welcome to the booth, mate.
Good evening. My first time in here. How are you?
We're very good. It was quite an exciting night of racing. How did it feel from your perspective?
An absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare tonight. I think I'm going backwards rather than forwards with this. I enjoy it at the end of the day. They're a good bunch of lads, most of them, and they spend a lot of time helping us in various practice sessions and what have you. Hopefully, one day we'll get up to pace. I just really, as the obviously the team principal of Result Clothing, I just wanted to sort of come on and thank everybody else for all the messages and wish Mick all the best. I know exactly where the position he's in. I was in the same spot myself 2 years ago. So it's a long road, but it'll get there in the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, bless him.
Good stuff, mate. Well, it's a pleasure to hear from you as well. Obviously, it's good to finally get you up here in the booth. It's been a long time coming. With the comment you made there, obviously, you're still enjoying it, and that is the main thing. That's why these series are put on. It's fantastic racing, and it is good to hear that you are still enjoying it, even if the results don't always go your way. Not to, well, pardon the pun, of course, but it's nice to it's nice to see that the team still give it everything. Though you guys are always so feisty out on track, no matter.
We enjoy it. We
give it everything, even if.
Oh, sorry.
No, there's a bit of delay. Sorry, go on after you.
So we do an awful lot of practice outside of the obviously broadcasts and what have you, and we do put a lot of effort in, but we do struggle to find the speed, especially myself. I mean, the likes of Carl and Mikey, they're really coming on really well, and Mick is quite quick as well. But it's just, we just keep practicing, get over the frustration, and crack on.
Well, that's it. If you keep coming back and keep trying hard, mate, it eventually comes to you in the end. It's just, like you say, it's a bit of a long road, isn't it? So we'll hopefully see the results come to you at some point in the near future.
Yeah.
Before you go there, buddy, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Obviously to Result Clothing for allowing us to use their name, and obviously the company we work for. And like I say, the main reason for coming in was to just wish Mick all the best and thank all the rest of the lads in the league for all the messages of support and the decals on the cars and what have you. Really, really appreciated.
Cracking stuff, mate. Well, good to speak to you, and we'll hopefully speak to you again very soon.
All right then, sir. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
David Ayres there. Brilliant to finally speak to him after all this time. I think he was in the interview waiting room a while ago, but we just didn't get around to his interview, actually. So, a bit unfortunate at that time. But, yeah, it's good to speak to him. And, of course, he does extend his best wishes to Mick, as we all do as well. It is a real shame to hear, but at least he's still fighting it. He's giving everything he's got, bless him. And, just to reiterate your comments, Tom, we obviously hope to see him back on track very soon. But another great night of racing that we've had from this brilliant little series. It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great fun and it's great to watch. I hope you guys at home enjoyed it as well as much as we did in the commentary booth. As I say, our thoughts go out to Mick Barry at the moment, a regular on the grid. So, as I said before, I'm sure he'll be back out racing soon. But yeah, it's been a really fantastic evening, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to Interlagos because that always brings the carnage and the fun. But Alex, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, another great night. Really enjoyed it. Yeah. I mean, you know what? I really enjoy the fact that I can look at the timing screen, see where the battles are, click on it, and you guys just commentate awesomely on it. And it's like perfect. I get like customized commentary and race action. You know, if only like you could do that in F1. It's like, right, live timing. I want to see that battle. Bang, go commentate. That's exactly what I've got sat here. It's awesome just listening to you two go at it. So, yeah, thanks very much.
Much appreciated, mate. Very much appreciated. We love doing it, and as you all know, me and Tom are very close friends from even before sim racing. So it's good that we all get to work together, of course, and we do enjoy doing it for you. And we hope that you all enjoy it at home as well. Obviously, if you do get sick of my voice, do tell me, and I'm sure that Tom will probably receive the same feedback if I do. So we'll go down together. But if you want to forward any complaints on, Alex Simpson at apexracingtv.com is probably the email address, or something similar, but you'll see. But anyway, we will hopefully join you on the iRacing Esports Network if I don't get fired for that comment. This time next week at Interlagos.
Only for giving out my email, that's it.
we get to
That's
shout
not
at... Yeah, that's not the email address, don't worry. Don't even try to send that. Some poor bloke with the same name somewhere in the world that somehow works for the same company might just get a random email and think, who's this? But we'll be back next week to shout at cars going around Interlagos and get very excited with all the slipstreams. So make sure you bring your shot glasses out if you want to play the drinking game. Thank you, of course, to the iRacing Esports Network, as always, for letting us do this. We really do enjoy doing it. Thank you, Alex, for your fantastic camera work. Thank you, Tom, for your fantastic commentary as well. And we will all see you next week. Have a great evening.